Morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
Morning, everybody.
morning. Elise will be right with us.
We'll get us started. Come on, you're the leader. You are the leader. You got this
Oh, come on, Mark.
by now. You got this in control by now.
Yep.
Don't need to wait. You didn't even need to wait for me. I was late. I'm sorry. I apologize.
You weren't late.
That's
right.
not a burpee.
Good morning. I will go with me first, I guess.
Yes, let's do it.
Oh,
Hi, Elise.
there she is.
She's still connected. There she is.
You got a face on this morning.
Okay. So I got a whole list of people to from all you nice people recommending other people for me, so I appreciate that. I didn't get a meeting in last week. I didn't get to meet with anybody, but I have like 10 people that I'm reaching out.
Bye.
So it'll be like set up every week.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Who did you talk to since last week?
Well, I talked to you, I talked to Ray, I talked to Mark, Missy. So yeah, they gave me some people.
Good.
Yeah.
Is it getting easier?
Not really. Well, yeah, it is. But not when you put me on the spot, so stop it.
No.
It's just us.
They don't have any spots around here. I don't see any
Yeah.
spots. Do you see any spots? No spots.
No.
You guys are all pros, though.
At what?
Yeah,
Talking?
Mark, stop it. Yeah, you know.
Not.
Yeah.
Don't even let your brain go there. Come on.
She's a tough one.
You're
All
right.
right. Well, in that case, I'm passing it on to Susan.
Don't
There you
teach me to
go.
keep my mouth shut, right? Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm still in the midst of this real estate legal changes mess that's mucking everything up. I've got my whole day today is spent in meetings going over this. And it turns out that when we look at it, that our office is really gung-ho and getting all the changes implemented. But when you talk to some of the other offices or you host an open house and you talk to clients who have been to other open houses, some agents aren't doing jack squat. So pretty soon the state's going to start sending out testers. They've done that in the past to make sure that you've got the proper documents at your open houses and stuff. They're real jerks. So they're going to start sending out testers to make sure that you've got the sign on the front door and everybody's signing in and that you're asking them whether or not they're working with a buyer. And if you are not proper, they can shut down your entire office and investigate all your files. So, and the fine is significant. It's like $11,000 or something. So, it's important that I learn it. But anyway, I am looking at the thing that I've got on my radar is evaluating my Facebook effectiveness and adjusting it accordingly. And I have that Real Grader program, which is supposed to be uploading stuff for me. And they are, but it's not having any effect or anything that I can see. So I have to look at that and see if I'm getting a good return on my investment or not. And the other thing I need to do is create a buyer benefits brochure for the new buyer agency contracts to show why I'm worth my commission. I've never done that before. And I have to set up all my new paperwork to be used because it's constantly changing. And so I carry a thing in my car. If I need a piece of paperwork, it's there for me. So I have to get that all set up and to be used at open houses and buyer appointments and all that stuff. Because I do work with Zillow. And those people, I don't make them sign a document until they've gone out with me the first time. Luckily, they've given us a pass on that. that we can show somebody a house one time and then get documents signed after that. So I'm just mucked in paperwork. And I had a quick question regarding our spreadsheet here. Am I writing stuff in the right week? I wrote my stuff in the date for 8/19/2024. That's what I'm going to be working on this week. And then I'll report on that next week. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So all that stuff is marked with a P.
Okay.
So,
Okay. So 8/12 is like where you're giving yourself a grade for this week.
Oh,
Does that make
okay.
sense?
Commit to my 5 notes and my 10 things so I don't need to have to eat cat food. I did it. I kept track
You
of everything
did.
in my Living Your Best Year Ever book. I've
All
got
right.
that down better. And it is, I did all my notes and I did all my calls and I did all that stuff and squeezed it all in so I do not have to eat cat food this week. But I also put it there that I need to do it consistently for 4 weeks and figure out whether or not it's actually a doable thing to write that many notes and call that many people on a daily basis. And the other thing that I realized that isn't in there, when Darren,
Is that like a requirement you're giving yourself, or is that a requirement?
I have a coach.
You have a coach.
Well, it's a requirement that I'm giving myself, but keeping track of it and the cat food is this coach's responsibility. But that's part of Living Your Best Year Ever. It's part of just tracking what I need to do in order to meet my goals. And so I have to do that, and I have to make sure that it's not excessive. The other thing I realized when listening to Darren's thing the other day is that I don't know how to give myself a day off or disconnect. One of his things that he talked about was disconnecting. I never disconnect. It's not that the rewards are one thing, but I don't ever disconnect. If
at the very end of that, he was talking to a realtor. A realtor
yes,
had
I
asked a
know.
question.
He was. He was talking to a realtor, and I think, yep, that's me. I don't tell people 24/7. I have limits on my start and stop time, but like whenever I have a free moment, I've got stuff going in my head. Ooh, let me go investigate that property for these people or for that people or whatever. And I'm in the MLS searching properties constantly, and I don't know how to turn myself off. I did book a vacation for the end of August. Hey, right for me. Going down to Cape May for a couple of days. And to me, that's a vacation. A couple of days is a vacation. So
I know someone else like that.
you, Elise,
See?
guilty as charged. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Totally guilty.
Okay, well, we'll flip it over to you then. Go.
Well, I was just going to say, Susan, that what we need to do is we need to go on vacation together.
You take
I
your
would
work
love
with
to
you
go
on
on
vacation.
without my husband. That would be a wonderful thing because it might actually be a vacation.
There you go. There you go. For us, as I had said in the last session, just have everything prepared and all done and ran all the prompts and such. That was part of it, but hadn't sat down with Aaron and fine tuned it. So we didn't have 100% of our days last week, but we had 3 out of the 5, only because of meetings and such that hit upon the BMC timeframe that we're allowing for ourselves. But in the whole trying to be a taskmaster scenario with me, I would give her tasks to go through it because I had seen it. I looked at it and saw what it provided to us. And some of it we're already doing, some of it we're going to implement, and some just doesn't make sense. So we're in that running through the core values and the love bombing, and working on that. And then we'll get into, as we implement certain things, and a lot of what that talks about, I don't know if any of you did that, but a lot of what that talks about is the just really setting the stage, of what you're going to do. So that is, we have a little bit more to do on the love bomb, core value love bomb. We're at the love bomb part of it. And I'm also, even though it's not on my goals, I will be adding to it from insane productivity. I'm going to do a 90-minute jam session because we want to do this gamification, and I want to get that up and running for our clients because it's going to take away something we already do and make it better. So I'm looking forward to a jam session and getting that completely done and ready for Vicky to work on. So,
Good.
Mark.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, good stuff. Continuing to see some momentum from everything that I've been working on. So just more continuation of that. Nothing necessarily, I don't want to say necessarily new from a project standpoint. Just continuing to build on social media stuff that I have. My friend, girl that's doing it for me, probably about 4 weeks in now. Getting good feedback, getting some good engagement. I mean, she's giving me bi-weekly reports in terms of analytics and, strategies that she's using and things that we should, possibly look to change. But I mean, she's being proactive, which I like, right? It's not me having to say, all right, do all this stuff. It's really just me giving content or direction. I'm allowing her to be creative. So it's a form of delegation that I'm not necessarily used to, which is good. It's good for me to do that and let it go and not have to micromanage in any way. So that's been continuing to do well. We had agreed to basically a 2-month trial, basically. So we got another month to go. We're a month into it. But if things continue to work the way they are, then I'll probably continue to, have her help in some form or fashion. It's also gotten me to be more consistent with my own posting, just on my personal page, as well as sharing with the business side of things. So that's good. Continuing to focus on the physical therapy meets fitness messaging with things within the social media, within my emails, within my internal communication. That'll be the bigger challenge, just internally, how we're, to make it seem like it's new, but it's not new, right? Like it's been there all the time. You just haven't realized that type of message. So I have a few members that I confide in terms of this particular thing that I'm working on, and they give solid constructive feedback. And one that I was working on from a physical therapy side of things over the weekend, and was explaining to her the purpose and the direction that we're headed in. And she's really like an ideal client. When my coach had asked me who my ideal client was, I had said this woman, Cora. So I was just explaining everything to her, and she was totally on board with it, totally supportive with it, and had asked her about, possibly assuming a role on like an advisory board, because I've loosely mentioned it before. I had it like when I did a beta program, when I revamped my introductory program. I have a 4-week program that is the introduction to our full-time program. Almost 2 years ago now is when I did like a beta program for about 2 or 3 months in the fall, leading up to January 1st of 23, when everybody, kind of start over. So I'm to the point again where I need another, beta group. But I've had one or two other clients that like I said, confide in, and one has specifically said, like, what about an advisory board? And I've, had that, notes written on my cards since, BMC, probably 2 BMCs ago. It's just something that I haven't implemented, hasn't been a priority, but I think it's something that, probably should happen, because I feel like I'm in a different, realm, because I see my clients like multiple times a week, right? And like I interact with them on a personal level. And so I think having that board, I think is probably an important piece. Like I said, I've had it written down for a while to implement. I just haven't pulled the trigger on it, more so because I just didn't know exactly what to do, how to form it, how many to have, like all the noise stuff, right? Versus just doing it and then, making it better over time. So I would say probably by I want to say by the end of September, I want to have it like in place. What it's going to be, how it's going to look like, I don't know. But I just want to say, like, it's in place and it started, right? With a few key people that I know will give me honest feedback, right? And help me from a member perspective, knowing what my vision is from the business side of things, right? So it's not just, hey, yeah, we want all this stuff, right? It's in alignment with, because I've been sharing the vision with them in terms of, what I'm looking for, what we want out of it, and they're all on board, and they're not just yes men and women either. They will give me honest feedback, because all the ones that I'm trusting in have been with me for multiple years and seen different transitions that we've gone through. So kind of where I'm at with things. Like I said, I'm enjoying doing what I'm doing. Momentum is good. And for those that aren't doing the 100-day charge with us, leading up to BMC, we switched to phase 2. And I feel like, and we don't discuss, like Thomas and Henry and I don't discuss what we're having everybody do within our mind, body, and business portions of it. And I feel like what they've presented, both in phase 1 and phase 2, and what I've been working on in Hero's Journey and in this group and in Insane Productivity, because I'm doing everything all at once. I feel like everything is in alignment, right? Like it's not
Excellent.
a bunch of different information that I'm like scattering for. It's all the core stuff. It's the basics. It's the fundamentals. It's the vision and the passion and the vitals and everything. Like, but I'm really working on it and working through it versus, all right, well, I went over it, right? Like we went through that model, but like for whatever reason, and I think it's always just things happen for a reason at a time, when you're ready for them, right? Sometimes you're just not ready for them. But I seem to be putting more work into these programs. And I think that's why they seem like they're in alignment, because I'm actually doing the work versus just learning the material, if that makes sense. So for those, I've gone through before, like Elise, multiple times on different things, can probably attest to that. Those who maybe have gone through multiple times and feel frustrated in any way, like all I can say is do work.
I think it's like a box of puzzle pieces. You get all the boxes and you got all the puzzle pieces, and finally they're all in line, and you can just start putting that puzzle together, because you have to figure out this part first, and who's your best client, and who's this and who's that. And once you get all those things done, then you can filter down and put the basic thing that you're getting the right people on the bus and all the stuff in the right seats. So it's all has to take place in its own time. And eventually you reach a point where you can like burst through the ceiling and make something great with it.
like I said, I've gone through all these programs multiple times and, gotten value from them.
Sure.
And one would think that, like, all right, you're doing too much, right? Like, doing the 100-day charge, and you're doing the hero's journey, you're doing insane productivity, you have this BMC follow-up group, and you have a lot of stuff. But like I said, they all seem to be keeping me on point and building over over time. So to me, like, I don't know, there's something different is clicking with them, and I know all the programs are interwoven and connected. They all have pieces within them, but
Right.
so
Well, and I think too, what happens, like is happening with me, is I've done things so often that when I read, like I have a hero's journey group. When we get to something, I know and I can remember what he talked about in it before I even open and read through the session. And, I know what's happening. I think that's might be what's happening for you. You're going, okay, I did that. And I'm sure it happens with Darren too. Like when he's working on the new BMC, he isn't reinventing the wheel. He's fine tuning the wheel,
sure.
And doing that with it. Definitely. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to share that because it's like I said, something.
Have you
Like an aha
punched,
moment for you.
yeah. Have you punched that question into AI to see what it would tell you to do as far as getting a group together?
Advisory board?
Yeah.
Not
Like,
yet.
what would be the ideal way for me to put together an advisory board? How many people do I need? What do I need them to, what qualities do they need to bring to the advisory board? Stuff like that. Ask AI, see what it comes up with.
Yeah.
Okay. I will.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
That is.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Kimberly.
All right. Oliver is still with us.
Yay.
He developed edema, which is like retaining fluid all over his body on Wednesday. Thursday and Friday were really, really rough.
Yeah.
I researched things to do for edema, and I started doing some lymphatic massages, and those have seemed to help. So we're just trying to give the medicine enough time so the disease can kind of reverse itself. Like the disease can go away, the Lyme disease, but then the kidneys can reverse and start to heal. It just is likely too late. The Lyme nephritis is what he has, and in almost every case it's fatal. So yeah, but we're just trying to keep him as comfortable as possible, and he's definitely not himself. He's very lethargic, but again, he just doesn't feel good. He's nauseous probably most of the time. And I'm just running around like a crazy person trying to figure out what he will eat because he just doesn't. He's so nauseous that he just doesn't want to eat. So, but he's been the last couple of days. He was definitely a little better. And I'm just gonna. I mean, honestly, if you just rub on the dog, it stimulates their whole immune system. So he's just getting extra. He's getting a spa day every day.
That's good.
Yeah.
He probably loves that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm actually telling people to stop over and see him, just anything to like change his routine, to see someone new and things like that. So we had visitors yesterday and stuff like that. So yeah. So regarding the book, I'm going through all the modules within this program and loving it to death. I just love this program so much. Met with the coach on Thursday and have my to-do list for the next 2 weeks and meet with her again. Really taking my time. Really haven't done a ton of writing, but I think I've gone to like kind of their office hours to just listen and ask questions if I'm brave enough. And I think I've figured out the format of the memoir. I think it's going to be lessons that I've learned along the way.
Mhm.
So I think it'll be that type of memoir. And I talked about it with the coach, and I told her a few of them, and she thought that was a good idea. So that was good. Camp Party, we're going into module 9, I guess, and I'm already caught up and done that, and I have my accountability group for that on Wednesdays, along with the meetup, so haven't skipped a beat at all. And right now, I think the hardest thing for me is actually getting the office organized. So I want you guys to keep me accountable, and I owe you guys a picture next week of the office organized.
Oh,
Okay,
we should have the before and
Kimberly
after.
must
Yeah,
post
before and
picture.
I can do the before and after.
Yeah, do a before and
Embarrassing,
after.
but I can do it.
Friday, that's what I did. I was missing some paperwork, and I went, you know what? My Friday is going to be just taking care of the paper on my desk. You know, and even me, like, there's not a lot of piles, but I just have to have them gone. You know, like I'm one of these that's where I started. I started in a newspaper, you know, business. So paper was everywhere. And I look at paper and I go, does somebody else have this? Do I need to keep it? You know, that's how I am when it comes to paper.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
So
just an F. Yep. Go ahead. Go ahead.
so that's like a big to-do list, because I probably should have done it 3 weeks ago based on insane productivity, and I just haven't what do you call it? I haven't kept my promises to myself on that, and I need to stop doing that. And then you know, my new job is starting and my old job is transitioning.
Yeah,
My
that's good.
my old bosses keep telling the client like a later time. First it was we're going to tell them that she's starting September, like August 30th is the last day. And then they just told the client that it's mid-September, but I'm already starting my new role. So
Don't want to do that to the client.
as of
That's not fair
August
to you
30th,
or fair to them.
I am not working. I'm not attending any of those meetings. I'm not doing anything. Like, I'm in the same company. I'm there if they need to tap me on the shoulder, but I don't need to be, I mean, they're actually lying to our team and said that I looked for an opportunity versus they put a gun to my head and told me I had 6 weeks to find something. So like, they're just not being transparent, and I'm just over it. I'm just over it.
Wow.
So when someone comes and says that, like, congratulations, I'm like, by the way, I didn't look for another job. This was first. I was pushed out of this position. Because I'm sorry, everyone should be on high alert on that Nestle team. You could all lose your job because Nestle is failing big time, and they need to shore up money. And it's easy to cut the head count on who you like on the team. So we have like a team of probably 30 people who service Nestle. Nestle could say it needs to come down to 25, and 5 people could be let go because they need to save a certain amount of money by December, So this not being transparent is bothering me because I am a very ethical person.
Yeah.
And it just bothers me. So I'm
That
not sure.
bothers me too.
Yeah,
That-
me too. I'd be setting that record
I-
straight every chance I had.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and I would feel uncomfortable working with and for them, because what other lies are they going to say about you?
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they're saying that, it's going to be mid-September, it's going to be you left. It's not going to be on them. That is,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
No.
So it's just kind of weird. Yeah. So, but things are going good. I definitely need to make sure that I'm setting boundaries. So I love the insane productivity module this time because the part that he talks about, if you allow yourself to be neglected, you'll be neglected. If you allow
Yes.
your boundaries to be crossed, they'll be crossed. If you like, that was just,
Mm-hmm.
I've got to stop it. I have to stop allowing people to trample into my day and just create havoc so that
Mm-hmm.
I have to work late at night and so forth and so on. So like
Yeah.
this, I really need to make this a priority of this job is to stop doing that so that I can love my job again.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
Get
mean,
what you
I've been through
tolerate, right?
insane productivity a couple of times, and that this module 9 hit me between the eyes. Like I was ready for that module,
Right. That's the
play it
lovely,
again,
that's the great
and
thing
so
about their replay
yeah,
is,
that's why rinse and repeats are so important.
yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
What were
I'm
you gonna
sorry,
say,
Mark,
John?
you were gonna.
Now I'm just saying you get what you tolerate.
Yeah,
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I had a question for Susan. When you were going through your things, how are your referrals going? Are you reaching out for referrals?
Yeah. I talk to a lot of people. That's part of my talk to 10 people all the time.
Okay.
And the thing is, when you get talk to people, they start talking, and it takes longer than it should. So I have to learn how to shut that off. But yeah, as a matter of fact, yesterday I got a phone call from a client who said she had instant messaged me in Facebook. I never look at my instant messages in Facebook. I'm so bad. And she said, "You sold me my house 10 years ago, and I put you through such a hell of a ring. I had to call you because I'm getting ready to sell my house in a couple of months."
That's awesome.
So that's the kind of stuff, you know. And so I
Yeah,
get people call me back because I might not, in the
that's good.
past I haven't actually spoken to them, but I send them things all the time, a note, a mailing, an email, which you never know if they see it or
Yeah.
not, type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I keep doing that. So I'll have people call me up 15 years later and say, "We're ready
Yeah.
now."
Do you have a
Yeah,
tracker
yeah.
for referrals just to see like month to month
Yes.
to see if it ever dips and comes back up and then dips or anything like that to know that
I have a tracker, but you know, again, that's one of those things that I have to keep up to date
Mhm.
because a lot of times I don't keep up to date with my
Yeah.
reporting. And so therefore I'm not accurate. So I'm trying to go back when I have a couple of extra minutes, especially with this change in the CRM, and fill in the holes that are there,
Mhm.
so that I have a better tracking system on it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Cool.
yeah,
Yeah,
so I
that's
keep
awesome.
track, and people call me, and I give out referrals. I gave out a $1 million referral this past week. You know, it was something that I couldn't handle. I don't really do commercial. I'll do small commercials, but they wanted to buy a gas station. I said I have no expertise in that. So I referred them out to somebody who's a commercial broker so that they can do that. And I'm gonna,
Mm-hmm.
if they manage to sell them something, I'll get 30% referral off of that.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's good.
That's awesome.
That's good.
So referrals are big in my book.
Yeah.
Right.
No, they must
Definitely, I
be.
can see
Yeah,
that.
they absolutely must be.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
Especially as you get older, for me, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
certain customers I don't want to take because they're going to put me through the ringer, you know, like the houses are too big for me to walk the entire thing without wearing myself out, type of thing, or
Mhm.
they're going to be too exhausting and wanting to see like 10 properties in a day. Let's go out to lunch. Yeah, I'm not up for that right now.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Mm-hmm.
Mark's going to get me in shape for that, right, Mark?
Whenever you're
Yeah,
ready.
that's right.
I look at your videos and do them every now and then, but I'm not consistent. I will confess. I did a Tai Chi this week too. That was another thing that was on my list. That was very
Mm.
interesting. I'd never done Tai Chi before.
Yeah, that's great.
When you hire a coach, you'll be consistent.
You know, the thing is, it's hard to find. See, you're special because you're a physical
You're
therapist.
special.
You're special. You're special because you're a physical therapist and a coach.
Right.
And most
Mhm.
of the ones that I see are, I hate to say it, but they're just coaches. And they
Right.
don't know how to implement the health issues that I've got and all of that stuff and not kill me, because I will personally kill myself because I overdo. I'm an overdoer. And so, I have all these issues. And so if I just go to my gym and pick out a 25-year-old coach, he'll have me doing all kinds of stuff and jumping on boxes and things, and I'll be dead. So, I have to find the right one. So if you know a physical therapist coach like yourself in New Jersey, or who is drivable for me, I certainly would look into it.
Things work virtually too.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I have virtual clients, yes.
Do you?
Kind of like what we're doing right now.
Oh,
As I can see you, I can coach you.
Okay, I will consider that. Thank you.
Please do. Sure. We can have another
Mhm.
conversation on the side, but there are ways for me to help you without being in front of you.
Okay, all right, I'll think about that. Thank you.
No problem. At least
That's right. I just haven't been good about it yet.
Well, I know last 100 Days to Greatness, you had that one person that was like, had lost all kinds of weight and was doing really well physically. And were you virtually coaching her?
no.
She just was doing your videos?
Yeah.
Wow, cool. I'm just a slacker.
That.
And that's
Here
one
for
way
you
that
when
you
you're ready.
can force in a disconnect, Susan.
What?
Force in those disconnected times.
Yeah, like I put it into my Living Your Best Year Ever journal that I'm going to try to disconnect for a half a day and start with that and see if I can just shut it off and go from there. Because I don't disconnect at all. And so I have to force it in somehow, wedge it in there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Cool.
Just an FYI, on Wednesday, I have the effective email marketing.
Mhm.
And I fine-tuned that over the weekend. One of the speakers for the association that we have coming up, his name is Ryan Dorn. I follow and implement things he does with email marketing, and I'm really excited about it. So if you have an hour of time at 11 o'clock, it'll be well worth it, because I'm going to do that, and also the 4 steps needed to do a pipeline. So
Are you
keeping
sending
it
out a link for that or something, Elise?
She did send an
you
email
should be
on the 13th.
you should be on the one. I'll personally send out the link.
Okay.
And I'm also going to show how to sign up, get people on your email list, the Amazon style, which
Okay.
is, and they're there.
What time is it on Wednesday?
It's 11 o'clock, because I have so many BMC things, and not BMC, but Hardy Club things that happen at 1. So I made it 11 o'clock, allowing myself 2 hours.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And speaking of BMC, Hardy Club and whatnot, one of the things on the unplug that I did, and I'm so glad I did, and Aaron can vouch for this, is when I would come in the morning, there would be like this Hardy Club dump of emails in my email inbox.
Mhm.
And I felt like I had a job with Hardy Club there for a little bit. And I have now taken and created a skip the inbox and go to this label in my emails. And when I have time to look at Party Club, which is usually at night, and go through things and respond, that's when I do. It's off my work hours. I can't afford to be inundated by it. And I wish there were sessions that they would respect our time and not have all the sessions during the day when we're working.
Make
and
that suggestion.
I'm going to, because I feel as though I'm missing things, and I regret missing I can go back and watch a replay,
It's
but
not
I
the
feel as
same.
though they're using our time.
Okay.
You know, they're using our quality time. And, you know, what is that good time? You know, early morning, you know, later in the afternoon. One of the guys I follow, Mark Harbert, he has his sessions at 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, you know, and he, you know, I go to myself, I can go to his because I can, you know, make that time. So I'm going to make that suggestion because I don't think they realize,
Yeah, if
you
you
know,
look
this
at
is,
my calendar and all the red things that are in here and all the meetings and all the Darren Hardy stuff and everything, it really does eat up your work day.
it does.
Yeah.
It's
And I have
quality
limits on
time.
how late I'm going to talk to people, clients. I have to put that on and how early I'm going to start. So I have a squeeze there on when I can actually talk to clients. And the things that throws it off is appointments and listing appointments and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's why I love this time of this one because it's before my workday gets
Yeah.
really and
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree. And I understand that if we were to say to them, you know, let's do something at 7:45, we're Eastern Standard Time. So we're okay, you know, but if we're asking people from, you know, San
California.
Francisco, West California, we're asking them to get up early in the morning. So,
Yeah. And
yeah.
literally
Got
around the world.
But they should be able
Liz,
to do something that's late afternoon for them and evening
Right,
for us.
right. You know, find that sweet spot. They found the sweet spot of 1 o'clock. Well, 1 o'clock is right in the middle of all of my Wednesday meetings. Wednesday networking meetings. It's like I have to choose.
Yeah.
I have to choose.
And I hate
Elise,
having to choose. Yeah.
if I sign up for your Zoom, will I get the recording? Because I can't
There
add
is no
another thing to
recording.
my Wednesdays. Okay.
Yeah. I don't do any recordings on these.
Yeah.
What my plan is for 2025 is that I'm going to be doing it's going to be a paid scenario with a recording, very, 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 very reasonable. But it's going to be not only that, but a follow-up.
Right.
You know, so like this one with the email marketing, there's steps. There's prompts. You know, I created prompts for subject lines, how to create an effective subject line. You don't even think about that, but yeah. And so I have prompts that have been created for that. I have prompts for writing and finding your giveaway that for the pipeline. So all that kind of stuff is going to be part of this. So
You get my attention in subject line. If you don't have it in subject line, I don't ever look at your email. Because
well, you won't
I
believe what
have 150, 200, I'm like, delete on the subject line.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah.
Well, the ironic thing is with it, this fellow trains that you want. It's the threes. I'll just give you a preview. It's 3 words in the subject line. So don't write your whole
It's
thing.
on the screen. It sits on the screen.
Yeah.
You can see it. Yeah.
Yep. 3 paragraphs or lines and thoughts, you know, in your, not thoughts, lines,
Messages.
sentences in the inside, and then 3 touches at a certain time
Okay.
and a certain days.
I look forward to that. It's on my calendar.
Pretty cool. And I'm so excited. I'm even inviting whoever wants to come to our conference. We have him coming in personally for sales. He's So I'm really excited to be doing that in March.
Good.
All right. Well, everybody have a good week.
Yes.
Have a great week,
Very
everyone.
productive week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have your jam sessions and Do all good things.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
Take
All
care.
right. See
Bye-bye.
ya.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye. I'll see you, Aaron.